Welcome to the Sports Betting Preview Show, a pregame.com podcast. This is a look at the NCAA Final Four. We're going to take a look at these four teams, look at the odds, break it down for you, tell you some history about the Final Four. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined, as usual, with Vegas Runner. And boy, Final Four, there's really only one team that people expected to be here, and that's Duke.
Yeah. And even out of all the number ones, they were the least regarded number one coming into the tournament, let's not forget.
We've got a Cinderella story. We've got a team that's coming back for revenge, that's really getting lost in the shuffle, the job that Tom Izzo and Michigan State has done. And then we've got West Virginia and Huggy Bear. You know, it's a great story, kind of, let out of Cincinnati on a, rode out on the rail there, not a good situation to his run at Cincinnati, and here he is at the school that he went to, West Virginia, and he's taken him to the Final Four since first time since 1959 when they had a guard by the name of Jerry West.
Yeah, people don't like him much, but he gets the job done, I'll tell you that, as far as Huggins goes.
What we're going to do here in this podcast, and if you want more information about the actual particular breakdowns of the games, be sure to check out our other videos at pregame.tv, as we're going to actually do our game previews, and we'll actually have a free selection from Vegas Runner and myself. And our free selections, you want to check those out, because Vegas Runner, you won last week 18-8 with your free picks. My free picks 21-10. So some money to be made with our free picks. But what we're talking about today is the Final Four odds. I'm going to break down the odds, and then we're going to talk about it and some history regarding the Final Four. Right now, Duke is the overwhelming favorite to win the national championship.
And they should be. Let's tell it like it is.
Duke, if you bet $100, you're going to get back $150 on Duke right now.
Surprising, because they are playing this number 2 team, that's why. If they were playing a 5 and West Virginia was on the other side also playing a 5, right, I don't think you'd be getting this nice of a price on Duke.
The second favorite is obviously West Virginia. They are a number 2 seed, but they draw Duke, the number 1 seed.
Exactly.
$100 on West Virginia will get you back $280. The long shots are in the other game. It's the number 5 seeds, and we'll talk about those number 5s in a second, the history with them. But you've got Butler coming in. A $100 bet gets you $460, and Michigan State, a $100 bet gets you $525.
There's some good value on either of those two teams, even though historically neither of those two should cut down the nets. Even though it's no secret, I have Duke. I have a future. I have 20 units pending on Duke to win it all. Obviously, I put them in my bracket to win it all. So I love Duke. But the truth is, from what you read off, I think the value lies in West Virginia. Reason being, if West Virginia upsets Duke, which isn't really even an upset, line opened up at 1. I thought it was short. It'll probably go to 2.5, 3 by game time. But still, it wouldn't be a huge upset. But getting almost 3-1 on West Virginia when they're going to be favored in the national championship game, I think is a good price. Because if they beat Duke, they're going to be a favorite over Michigan State or Butler, I would think.
Well, then it would give you some hedge opportunities come the final.
Yeah, and you'd be getting the favorite in the national championship game at a dog price, at plus money.
Yeah. Plus the 280 price.
So that's the only reason to me it sticks out as having value. Because as far as taking Butler or Michigan State, you could just bet them in the national championship game and get a good price on them on the money line anyway. Duke's going to be a prohibitive favorite, and even West Virginia's going to be a favorite. So I don't see that much value in betting either of those dogs, even though getting 6-1 now isn't the worst bet I've ever seen, especially since one of them will be in the national championship. So I think you got to look there. I don't think the value's with Duke, even though that's the team that should get it done.
Definitely the value's not with Duke, for sure. The situation with Butler, let's say Butler or Michigan State, if they're going to be, as you said, a dog in the national championship game, what would you make the money line either one of those two teams?
That's the thing that I was trying to figure out, how high of a favorite would I make Duke over either, and how high of a favorite would I make West Virginia over either. The difficulty in doing that right now is that the national championship game is going to be influenced, at least the point spread is going to be influenced by public perception so heavily until we see how those Final Four games play out. It's pretty tough to, determine that. I mean, if Butler comes out and plays lights out, annihilates Michigan State, and, Duke barely gets by West Virginia, or the other way around, and they play double overtime or something like that, then I don't think they'd be that high of a favorite, So I think that's where the difficulty comes in.
Well, and the other thing is if Butler gets by and gets into the national championship game, there's no question they are, of the four teams, they're the media darling right
Exactly.
All the references to the Hoosiers movie.
Exactly.
And
playing at home.
So there's no question there. You might get a little short price. Myself, and here's where the history comes in. For 21 straight years, the NCAA champion has been a 4 seed or lower, which means...
Or better, you mean.
Yeah, right. A 1 to 4 seed.
Right.
So with that said, history says...
Duke or West Virginia is cutting down the nets.
Right. Now, but my question is, and I don't have that to go back and look at the 21 straight years, is how many times has there been
a number
of 5,
6 or 7 playing in the national championship
game, because you're going to be guaranteed
a 5 gets in this year. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then I got to say too, really looking at Michigan State and looking at Butler, are they really 5 seeds?
Yeah.
Butler was a top 10 team preseason.
Yeah. And they did what they were supposed to do. They won their
They got the nation's longest winning streak.
Yeah.
What have they done for their stock?
They annihilated their conference. They annihilated their conference tournament. I mean, they did what they did the right state to put the exclamation point.
If you're a number 5 seed, you're saying that at best, the committee said you're the 17th best team in the country. At best. Because,
right. All the 5 that are there.
17,
Sure.
16 to 20, but they're definitely better than that, because they were top 10 preseason. They ended the season with the nation's longest winning streak, 24 games. How can you not say? I think that Butler is not a Cinderella, but history says that it won't be. We've got only one number 1 seed.
And look at Michigan State. They got experience. They were here last year.
They're playing with revenge. How many times does a team get to come back and try to get a mulligan for you were in the national championship last year? Couple more stats we got to squeeze in here. That the number 1 seed making the Final Four this year, exactly 1 or 2 number 1 seeds have made the Final Four 21 of 26 years. So history's held up there that you got to get generally
a one's getting in there. Yeah.
So odds say it's Duke.
I wish
odds say
were right.
Butler and Michigan State have no shot. I honestly think the odds are a little bit overinflated on them. But I agree with you that you're going to get a price on either one in the championship game. Yeah. So you can wait one game.
Instead of taking a position on either one or both, you could sit back and say, if Michigan State makes it and they play Duke, they're going to be a dog. If Butler makes it, they might even end up being, a nice-sized dog, too. So,
well, there you go. You have the history of the Final Four. Talked a little bit about, some of the teams, how they got here. Be sure to check out our other podcast. Go to pregame.tv, check out all of our podcasts. We're going to have the segments on both games and then a third video where we actually give some picks. So check it out. We got complete coverage, wall-to-wall Final Four.
Oh, yeah.
This is it this week. Enjoy the games. This has been a pregame.com podcast. You can download and listen to all of our podcast at iTunes. Just search for pregame.com and you'll be able to find us. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more videos.